So indeed, some complex machinations involve with dealing with the service accounts that drive our applications and Windows services. But like the accounts themselves, these machinations are ever more required in order to lock down that experience and protect ourselves from just simply throwing a user account in domain admins and having it run everywhere. To that end, what have we talked about in this module? We've talked about service accounts in general, so how to associate a user account or one of the built-in contexts to each of the services that require them. We talked also about managed service accounts and the second generation group managed service accounts, which are probably Microsoft's apology for that first generation of MSAs that didn't really work all that well. We explored the use of virtual accounts, which are necessary when you have need for a local user account, but you don't want to have to manage it in just the same way you don't want to have to manage a domain user account and its password. We then moved on to the concepts of Kerberos constrained delegation and the use of service principal names, talking a bit about where they're useful, but more importantly, talking about where you configure them so that you'll know where to go when your applications and services require them. Coming up next, we will switch gears ever so slightly away from accounts themselves and begin talking about the domain controllers that drive those accounts. In that next module, we've got a fairly random combination of three different topics that really have no meaning on each other, but are important in the greater configuration of our domain controllers. We'll go through the transfer and seizure of our operations master roles. We'll take a look at RODCs, their installation and configuration, and then look also at domain controller cloning, which in previous versions of the operating system was something you should probably never do, but thanks to some improvements here in Windows Server 2012 and R2, we have the abilities to do virtual machine cloning for our Active Directory domain controllers. This somewhat scattered but nonetheless important conversation on configuring domain controllers is the topic for our next module coming up.